Welcome back, everybody. More policy talk. This is my favorite track, and I am so excited for our next discussion here, A Citizen's Guide to Driving Blockchain Policy by Jeet Raut, who is the Executive Director of the New York Blockchain Council.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeet Raut. Most of my time I spend as the head of BD and strategy at PiSquared. We're building out the world's fastest agentic payment system. If you're interested about that, please find me afterwards. But today I'm here to discuss basically a citizen's guide to driving blockchain policy. I'm the executive director and founder of the New York Blockchain Council. We got founded in November of 2024. So why this matters now, right? The last panel did a really great job kind of highlighting what's happening with the Clarity Act. We recently had the Genius Act passed last year, and that'll be going into effect next year. So the OCC is figuring out some of the compliance and regulatory guidelines around that. At the state level, there's more than 30 bills that are currently being worked on right now. And as a whole, crypto is a $2 trillion industry, and there's a lot of interest in seeing how it will grow. Referencing, I'm just a bill, Capitol Hill. Again, right, so in terms of legislation actually becoming policy, the processes are these. You start by first drafting legislation, it then goes to committee. Committee is often where a lot of legislation ends up, unfortunately, going away, or it gets amended to oblivion. So committee is incredibly important. Then you have the floor vote, where everyone will vote on the bill itself, then going to the other chamber, and then finally signed in by a governor or the president at either the state or federal level. But this is where it really becomes important for all of us in this space to really advocate for the space itself. Citizens, all of us, can actually be an important part of each one of these steps, and I do recommend folks get more involved as time goes on. So who are the key players? You have the legislators, who are the elected officials, right? These are your representatives. You have the regulators, the SEC, CFTC, OCC, industry groups such as ourselves at a state level. We're a trade association, and then also lobbying groups such as the Blockchain Association, Coin Center, Digital Chamber of Commerce, and so on. And finally, and most importantly, it's all of us, because all of us as citizens can actually impact each one of these other groups and actually get the policies we want going forward. And so when we talk to policymakers about what we are as an organization or as an industry, it's really important that we kind of speak their language. The average elected official is not really going to care about decentralization or tokens or like consensus mechanisms. However, they do care about things like jobs in the jurisdictions, collecting massive amounts of tax revenue. So if everyone hopefully here is signed up with Stand With Crypto, is involved with their local Stand With Crypto, either city or state group, and can really work with them to follow up on different ways to interact with policymakers. So at a local level, right, all of us now, things that you can do, attend town halls, talk a bit about how the technology can yet again benefit the citizens in those jurisdictions, meet your local representatives and kind of talk about how they can benefit. And also, again, speaking their language, like I was saying on the last slide. And finally, something we do a lot of in New York is hosting educational events. So some of that is around just, explaining what some of the benefits of blockchain are to legislators and policymakers. And yet again, just getting a lot of folks out to show that also there is a large community of people who are really interested in the space. At a state level, you can get associated or become a member of a group such as ourselves, like the New York Blockchain Council, testifying in committee hearings, right? We see a lot of leaders in the space doing that today, as well as proposing model legislation. We're one state, however, there are two groups. One is the US Blockchain Council, as well as the North American Blockchain Association. So each one of us as states is part of these larger groups, and it's nice because we can communicate our different strategies or different bills that we have up for legislation and actually learn from each other and really drive policy together very quickly. Finally, at the federal level, right, reaching out to your senators, participating in public comments, And then finally, supporting larger groups such as lobbying groups like the Blockchain Association and Coin Center. For ourselves, right, I'm just someone who was in the space for a long time. I've worked at different L1s on the infra side, founded my own last year, working on a new type of protocol right now. But I was someone that realized that I really did want to get involved in policy because it's really easy to get a lot of like smear campaigns when you start reading about like blockchain and crypto in the news. You know, it's heavily kind of biased in a lot of ways. And I realized that I wanted to do something as an individual who's worked in the space, but actually knows it well enough, can hopefully communicate the benefits of it to larger legislators as a whole. So our general policy or framework that we use at the Blockchain Council in New York is basically doing three things. One, educating legislators and policymakers. Two, awareness. So when we say awareness, we primarily tie that around events. So we worked with Chainlink last fall to host the New York Blockchain Week. We had, they had SmartCon, their main large event, and we had another 30 or 40 events on the side, which was great because we could pull from the local community and companies to really have a robust week of programming. And finally, policy itself. So I'll be heading up to Albany in the next few weeks here, speak to local lawmakers and talk about how, yet again, they can benefit a lot from the space. So yeah, that's kind of what we do. This is a quick primer. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can follow me on X. I'm just Jeet Raut. And yeah, thank you guys so much for your time.